First Alert Weather Extra starts now.
Welcome in, Chief Meteorologist Wes White. If you checked in with Lauren the past couple of evenings, we just haven't had a lot of rain out there. It's been mainly a dry week. We've entered what I like to call the doldrums of summertime around here. You get the highs close to 90, heat index around 100, and every day just a couple of tiny showers out there on the radar. And speaking of tiny showers, tracking a couple of those right now that we'll get to here coming up on First Alert Accutrack Radar. Let's show you our First Alert weather headlines. And isolated rainfall. Very limited rain chance here, at least over the next 48 hours. I think by Friday this weekend, watch out. Those scattered storms will be coming back in a big way. We'll see an increase in the number of storms in mainly afternoon and evening. We just don't expect any day in particular to be a total washout, but there will be some stormy afternoons possible. I would plan for that possibility with those weekend plans of maybe a storm delay in the afternoon. Quiet weather in the tropics so far. In fact, meteorologist Matt Daniel coming up is going to tell us a little bit more about why it's been so quiet in the tropics. Let's get over to First Alert Accutrack Radar at the moment. Well, you look at this and you see some showers and storms to the north that fell apart. They've been dealing with some flooding, flash flood watches across parts of Kentucky and West Virginia. Places like Charleston dealing with 3-4 inches of rain today. It's actually been kind of interesting. There's been a lot of rain across the southwest, that monsoon kicking in, a lot of that rain stretching across the central portions of the country. But for us, well, all that heavy rain's north of us. We're just dealing with very isolated pop-ups at the moment. You can see there was one little shower. We're zoomed in really tight to Walker County. Jasper is back in here. This is Carbon Hill, Double Springs to the north, and there's one little shower there. It moved right across I-22, and you can see it's just struggling to hang on there as it moves to the north around Highway 5. But don't be surprised if you're watching me north of Manchester, maybe a shower. And there was one little pop-up, very brief, around Cooper here in Chilton County, areas to the south. I was actually watching back in here around Montgomery. You can see a couple of isolated showers in here and a chance some of that. It looks like there's a surge of moisture coming in off the Gulf. Typically, you'll get that sea breeze, that onshore flow, which is a little bit stronger today with that broad southerly flow stretching from Louisiana all the way across Alabama. Winds out of that south direction today, pumping in some of those showers. But for tonight, I wouldn't count on much rain at all. Certainly don't cancel your plans if you're thinking about after supper time getting a walk in around the neighborhood, taking the pup out for a walk. Well, go ahead. It's not a bad night really for this time of the year. Temperatures in the 80s, winds out of the southwest direction again for this evening. But getting into tomorrow, very similar setup. Plan tomorrow. I mentioned earlier, you've heard this term, we're in rinse and repeat mode, and that's going to be the story tomorrow. And then by Friday, again this weekend, we'll be talking a lot more about that increase in storms as we explore the 7-day forecast coming up, and we go beyond the 7-day. But we have a lot more right here on First Alert Weather Extra. We're going to check in with Mickey later on with an update on what's happening along the Gulf Coast. We go beyond the 7-day forecast and tackling deforestation, an interesting story. We're going to meteorologist Lauren Linehan's going to introduce here coming up. So we got a lot straight ahead for you right here on First Alert Weather Extra. Thanks for joining us. Stay with us.
At West Shore Home, we pride ourselves on being the fastest and most convenient option for homeowners who are looking for a new shower or bath project. Today, Joe and I are going to look at some projects, why they're so popular, and how we can offer you some extra savings right now.
Yeah, well, Kirsten, the big question out there is why are so many people choosing to remodel their shower or bath right now?
Joe, right now homeowners across America are looking for ways to reinvest and build value in their homes. Replacing your shower or bath is a great way to do that. For folks who call in right now, we're offering some great savings with our 4th of July flash sale. You can lock in that price and get limited time long-term financing of 0% APR for 48 months. And on top of that, for anyone who calls in now, we'll take an additional $1,500 off your shower or bath project.
Wow, it seems like the price of everything else keeps going up, but you're saying for anybody that calls in now, they can lock in their price and get 0% APR for 48 months. That's amazing. Now, Kirsten, for a project like this, they probably have to put some money down, right?
They definitely don't. So many people think when they're going to do a project like this, they have to have thousands of dollars saved up for a down payment. That's simply not the case.
So you're saying they can start their project now and not have to worry about paying anything out of pocket. That's incredible. Now, a lot of people might be wondering, what do one of these projects look like when they're finished? Can you give us an example?
This homeowner wanted something that was safer and more accessible. We came in and installed a brand new walk-in shower. The best part is they were able to take advantage of our long-term financing, that 0% APR for 48 months. And just as a reminder, anyone who calls in right now can get an additional $1,500 off their project.
Wow, Kirsten, thanks so much. Folks, it does not get any easier than this. This offer ends this week. Call in now to get 0% APR for 48 months. And for a limited time, they're taking $1,500 off every shower and bath project. Call West Shore Home now.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. We were talking about how thus far this hurricane season, knock on wood, has been fairly quiet for us along the Gulf Coast. We check in now with meteorologist Matt Daniel for why that may be.
All right, we haven't really talked much about the tropics this past month, and that's a great thing. If we're not talking about it, that means there's no issues. And thankfully, no signs of activity over the next several days. We're going to start watching areas of low pressure moving off the coast of Africa and moving across the Atlantic. You can see one tropical wave moving off the coast of Africa for right now. But other than that, we are looking fairly quiet across the area. So you can see the Caribbean, the Gulf of Mexico looking good, and the National Hurricane Center forecasting quiet conditions for the next 5 days. One big reason why we're going to see those dry conditions and lack of activity, got a lot of wind shear, a lot of wind blowing around, so that's not very good for systems to develop in the tropics. And we also have a lot of dry air and dust, Saharan dust off the coast of Africa, and you see a lot of that spreading across the areas where tropical development would usually occur. So that's also limiting the activity. So is it normal to have quiet conditions in the month of July? Well, here's the average activity during hurricane season when we see named storms. So you can see it's a really low chance to see named storms in the months of June and July, and it starts to really ramp up as we go into the end of August into the month of September. So it is expected to pick up in activity, but at least for now, going to the last week of July, going into August, looking fairly quiet. Of course, we've already had 3 names already, so are we already at average or are we above average for this season? Well, I want to show you this list based off climatology. And when do we normally see named storms? So normally our first storm usually occurs in and around June 19th, our second named storm usually around July 15th, and our third named storm usually occurs on August 2nd. So technically we're already ahead of schedule, but once again it's not super unusual, maybe just one named storm for the month of June and July. But notice we'll start seeing several in the months of August into September, and on average we'll normally see about 14 named storms each year. So what about hurricanes? When do hurricanes usually develop? Of course, those are usually stronger than tropical storms. They have winds up to 74 miles per hour or greater. So normally we'll see our first hurricane in around August 11th normally. Of course, we'll see some hurricanes prior to that and even later than that. But by August 26th, we'll normally see 2 hurricanes. And on average, we'll see about 7 hurricanes per hurricane season. So here's that forecast from Colorado State. This is their update from July. Nothing really changed from their June forecast, but they're still looking at above average activity going into the rest of the season. We got a La Nina in place. We're thinking that dry air is going to start to disappear by August and September, and those sea surface temperatures are very, very warm. So they're forecasting 20 named storms. 10 of those could be hurricanes, and now those 10 hurricanes, half of them at some point could become a major hurricane. So as we go into August, we really look farther out into the deep tropics of the Atlantic. We look towards the East Coast, the Gulf of Mexico, all fair play for potential development. Of course, sometimes you'll get a cold front move in, stall, and you can see some storms develop locally. But for now, it looks pretty quiet. And of course, you can monitor the tropics through the WBRC First Alert weather app.
Thank you for that info, Matt. This is the one time of the year where if it's going to be windy and dusty, we're okay with that if it limits tropical cyclone formation. But since that formation is limited, maybe wanting to go down to the beach to squeeze in a little last-minute vacate before school starts back up, we'll check in with Mickey Ferguson.
All right, let's take a look at that beach forecast. Here we go into the waters of the Gulf of Mexico, 87 degrees. It's pretty toasty for this time of the year. And we do have a moderate rip current for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday going into the weekend. So you might have those yellow flags. Always pay attention to the flags on the beach. Yellow is caution, and red just means, hey, how about you not go in there? And double red flags, it's actually illegal to go in because people endanger themselves trying to rescue you. All right, so not a whole lot of activity. Temperatures at the Gulf are actually cooler than they are here at home. We're in the mid to upper 80s for highs. Now the lows are right at 80 degrees. But as we head into the weekend, it's looking pretty good down there. And even if you see a storm, sometimes it blows inland about a mile or so. So I would go, if I had the opportunity to go to the beach, I would definitely go based on that forecast. Rainfall totals, potential rainfall totals, I should say, maybe a quarter to half an inch. This is taking us all the way in through the weekend and into next week. Just a slight chance of showers there. So 60% chance of showers going into today and tomorrow. We get into the weekend, the rain chances really taper off. Highs in the 80s, overnight lows close to 80 degrees. But yeah, have fun at the beach. Get me a t-shirt if you will. Stay extra, weather that is.
When 6 on Your Side investigates, the issues that directly impact you matter most to us.
That's why we're getting answers on rising prices and how you can save some money.
And being another set of eyes looking out for your kids and your family.
Getting to the bottom of health and billing issues that may be hidden in the fine print.
How events nationwide are affecting you here at home.
WBRC Fox 6 is always here on your side, ready to help. This is why 6 on Your Side investigates.
These are your mornings, and Good Day Alabama is built to start them right. The only station staying local on all platforms all morning long. In your community, giving you a deeper perspective with the largest team dedicated to you. Showing new stories from overnight, helping you get through your day. With First Alert weather and traffic, getting to the point, not wasting your time. These are your mornings. Prepare for a good day. Prepare with Good Day Alabama.
When moments turn severe, how do you find clarity?
This is your first alert from the WBRC Fox 6 weather team. We're with you as we prepare for this threat.
In a season of constant change, when you need to know first, when you need to prepare, only one team gives you the first alert wherever you are. A trusted team staying ahead of what's next in your neighborhood. Stay alert. Stay with the First Alert weather team. Live, new, and on your side, beginning at 9 p.m. In a day filled with clutter and noise, WBRC Fox 6 News breaks down what you need to know before anyone else. With new updates, live and on the scene, answers for your money and your livelihood with 6 on Your Side investigates. And your first alert for the hours and days ahead with the WBRC First Alert weather team. On your favorite platforms every night. WBRC Fox 6 News at 9 and 10. On your side.
Well, the next big weather story for us will be an increase in storms and showers by the weekend. Still any particular day here, I don't see a complete washout. I know rain's been hard to find this week, but you can see those rain chances jump way up, especially by Saturday and into Sunday. Mostly what we're talking about, storms and showers, most likely after lunchtime, get into that peak heating of the day, and then showers and storms dissipating as we go into the evening hours. But we are counting down the days here, getting closer and closer to the month of August. You know, in August, we start to see that tropical activity start to ramp up with time, and that's what we're going to be watching over the next several days. But things in the tropics, again, very quiet at the moment. Radar not showing a lot. There was a little shower even at the top of First Alert Weather Extra here. We could see some of that rain over Walker County, but that has since dissipated. And a little pop-up around Chilton County. Well, that's what it was. It popped up and it went away. You can see there 640, that latest scan coming in on First Alert Accutrack showing now that shower is going. And we've had a couple of pop-ups to the south, but if we do get a stray shower out there, it's going to quickly fade away tonight once we lose the heating of the day. Just not a lot happening. Most of the heavy rain has been focused north of Alabama, at least so far this week. But with time, we'll start to see those higher rain chances moving a little bit closer to home. So forecast radar data, this is some of the high resolution, one of the what we call the convective allowing models. Doesn't show a lot going on out there for tonight, tomorrow morning. morning. Temperatures in the 70s early on. Some clouds around early in the day. Typical morning low clouds possible. We'll quickly break into some sunshine. By lunchtime, the heat index will be topping 95 degrees. I don't think tomorrow we're going to get into heat advisory range for most areas, but it's certainly going to be a steamy day. Trying to get an early start out there once again. By tomorrow evening, we'll probably see a couple of additional showers compared to what we saw today, but not a major change tomorrow. We'll really start to notice those changes, I think, Friday and into the weekend. You can see there's slightly greater coverage. We're tracking an axis of stormy weather to the north, and we'll eventually see a boundary drop closer to home by Saturday, and that's what's going to help to generate that increase in storms and showers this weekend. Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, and then again late on Sunday. Some of those times there to watch out. Could be some lightning producers, some locally heavy rainfall, so check that First Alert weather app for this weekend. Our Thursday forecast, heat index range right around 100 to above 100 to 101. You can see there not a major heat index. We had some days of summer where it felt like 110 degrees, so not too off the charts, but still plenty warm over the next several days, and no major change in that trend through early next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Those afternoon storms possible there, but not a major shift in the pattern anytime soon. We are on that road when it comes to summertime weather. Many times folks will ask in the wintertime, if you had to make a forecast for the summer and you set a high of 90 with a chance of scattered storms, there's a pretty good chance you would be correct, because we see that a lot around here during the summer months. But that is the pattern that we are in right now. But how about beyond the 7-day forecast? Are there some changes out there on the horizon? Well, let's check in right now as we go beyond the 7-day forecast with meteorologist Jill Gilardi.
Thanks, Wes. Yeah, we are still going to see that heat, it looks like, continue the above normal heat as we look beyond the 7-day. It looks like we're still going to see some of the worst of it is going to be, well, definitely a high chance of it across the upper Midwest, but certainly we are included in that greater than average chance of seeing above normal heat. So what are the projected high temperatures for 8 to 14 days out, or 6 to 15? You're looking at low 90s maybe initially, and then upper 90s to mid 90s. Maybe we'll squeeze a century mark in there. It's not out of the question, so we'll be watching that. No change in the past 24 hours in terms of the 8 to 14 day rainfall outlook. It looks like below average. That better chance would be setting up across the Midwest, across the Southeast. We have equal chances to go in any direction. Now, as we take a look at the long range pattern, I am seeing something interesting showing up in terms of what could be coming in from the east. Not usually we see, again, unless it's tropical season, which it is, you can get these disturbances coming in from the east. So we'll be watching that around the 6th to see if it blows up an area of a storm development, and then you can see all that storminess across the Gulf of Mexico. So we'll watch around the 8th. Could there be a tropical system that forms? It's not impossible, it's that time of year, but we'll have to see how everything pans out. And then as we go later in time, we're talking about the 9th, 10th, we may see a dip in the jet stream and additional chances for rain and storms. But certainly does look like we'll continue to see those opportunities for rain and storms, and hopefully any drought conditions across West Alabama will continue to back off. And of course, Wes will be talking more about this and much more on First Alert Weather Extra.
At West Shore Home, we pride ourselves on being the fastest and most convenient option for homeowners who are looking for a new shower or bath project. Today, Joe and I are going to look at some projects, why they're so popular, and how we can offer you some extra savings right now.
Yeah, well, Kirsten, the big question out there is, why are so many people choosing to remodel their shower or bath right now?
Joe, right now homeowners across America are looking for ways to reinvest and build value in their homes. Replacing your shower or bath is a great way to do that. For folks who call in right now, we're offering some great savings with our 4th of July flash sale. You can lock in that price and get limited time long-term financing of 0% APR for 48 months. And on top of that, for anyone who calls in now, we'll take an additional $1,500 off your shower or bath project.
Wow, it seems like the price of everything else keeps going up, but you're saying for anybody that calls in now, they can lock in their price and get 0% APR for 48 months. That's amazing. Now, Kirsten, for a project like this, they probably have to put some money down, right?
They definitely don't. So many people think when they're going to do a project like this, they have to have thousands of dollars saved up for a down payment. That's simply not the case.
So you're saying they can start their project now and not have to worry about paying anything out of pocket. That's incredible. Now, a lot of people might be wondering, what do one of these projects look like when they're finished? Can you give us an example?
This homeowner wanted something that was safer and more accessible. We came in and installed a brand new walk-in shower. The best part is they were able to take advantage of our long-term financing, that 0% APR for 48 months. And just as a reminder, anyone who calls in right now can get an additional $1,500 off their project.
Wow, Kirsten, thanks so much. Folks, it does not get any easier than this. This offer ends this week. Call in now to get 0% APR for 48 months. And for a limited time, they're taking $1,500 off every shower and bath project. Call West Shore Home now.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm First Alert meteorologist Lauren Linehan. Before we wrap up the show this evening, we wanted to get a little bit global with Weather Extra and take you over to Kenya and tell you the story of an 18-year-old footballer who's trying to get the attention of FIFA to help combat deforestation in his country.
Football is a universal game and the climate change is a universal problem. Sports and football in specific has the power to inspire, to change, to connect the young people to create a greener environment. My name is Lesey Mutunke. I just turned 18 years old. I'm founder of the initiative Trees for Goals, where I use the power of football to conserve my environment.
For this Kenyan football player, his fight against climate change started with a simple idea. He'd mark every goal he scored by planting a tree.
It motivates me to work harder to score the goal, which makes me a better football player, but also betters the environment. So it's like a win-win situation.
Lesey grew up planting trees at times of celebration.
The first tree I planted, I was probably 5 years old, so I was probably the same height as the seedling. We'd really do it anytime we would get together, whether it's a birthday, an anniversary, or we just go and visit our grandparents. That's really how it came together, and it was really just a sign of celebration, a sign of happiness, joy.
What began as a solo endeavor has kicked off across Kenya.
Yeah, I think that's good enough.
Bringing a culture of conservation to a wider team of players.
Under Trees for Goals, I've been able to plant up to over 4,500 trees. And this is in the forests, this is in the schools, planted a few even at the football clubs. Today we're here at Huruma School and Children's Home. Right now we just finished up planting some indigenous trees. As you can see, these guys behind me doing a fantastic job. Slide it out like that. So they're really engaged with in both sides of the initiative, the planting of the trees, taking care of them and make sure they grow, and also the playing of football. This is exactly what I'm targeting with Trees for Goals.
Forests absorb and store heat, trapping carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, clean and filter air and water flows, and buffer against extreme weather. Their protection and revival is one of the key solutions in mitigating climate change and its effects.
I planted this one specifically.
Lesey sows with intent. He only plants indigenous trees and works with a team of young environmentalists to revive Kenya's degraded forests.
Planting a tree as a individual tree is good, but what a forest also does is that as a collective it clears our air, the problem of air pollution. It also encourages rainfall, so there's less droughts. So there's definitely, and also it does keep biodiversity for the animals within the forest and everything, so there's no human and wildlife conflict. It's definitely an amazing feeling, to come back to the forests or the places where I've planted the trees and to see that they're actually growing and they're doing well. What I look forward to is, to hug the trees once they grow.
While he's inspired a new generation to take up the charge to fight climate change on Kenya's football pitches, Lesey knows a big problem requires an even bigger solution.
I aim to not only do it within schools or within the football clubs locally. I definitely want to make it a global movement. in big football leagues like Premier League, La Liga, with the football clubs, obviously, and also even started in World Cup. Reaching out to FIFA and telling them that, hey, this is a project that I think would be great for the sports world. I can say that, hey, this is Arsenal's forest, or this is Real Madrid's forest, because they show that this is the number of goals we've scored, this is the number of tournaments we've won, and this is how big our forest is, So it would work with a bit more pride. Like, yeah, we did that.
Whether it's on or off the pitch, Lesane hopes his story inspires everyone to get involved.
My message to people all over the world is that we are going to be the change. No matter how small of an impact, it makes a difference. Whether it's planting that tree, reducing your use of plastic, or just creating awareness about the issue. The time to take action is now.
Oh, just get so inspired, and by Gen Z even. So it's so good to see these younger generations coming together and trying to do what we can to help our planet. And I don't know, that maybe get me to play soccer if I knew scoring a goal would let me plant a tree better than, just running and not getting any benefit out of it. So for the rest of the evening, we're going to continue to be watching that warm and humid weather in place. I'll pull up that 7-day forecast for you all so we can get one last look at it. Now, as far as right now, with the temperatures that we've been seeing across central Alabama, it's still really warm outside, 80s. By tomorrow morning, we will fall into the 70s, but really for Thursday and Friday, still going to be right around that 90-degree mark. I do think we expect, as far as Friday versus Saturday, it looks like more of the rain will likely be around on Saturday, and we'll have a first alert for storms in the forecast. It doesn't look like a severe threat, but of course you could see some heavy downpours, cloud to ground lightning and gusty winds, and then just keeping that summer pattern in place as we get into next week. And next week, first week of August. But you can catch us back here tonight on First at 9 for the latest on your forecast. I'm First Alert meteorologist Lauren Linehan. Have a safe and happy Wednesday evening.